It is a profound truth that there exists a test which the soul endures in absolute silence. This test lies beyond the reach of therapists, beyond the pages of self-help books, beyond even the understanding of those who love you most. You may have lived through years believing you were simply surviving difficult times, quite unaware that you were in fact undergoing the most rigorous examination a human consciousness can ever face. In my decades of work, I have studied these invisible initiations that reshape certain souls completely. I have observed that some individuals pass through what I termed the process of individuation by means of a doorway of profound suffering. A suffering that leaves no external scars yet transforms everything within. The signs of this transformation, however, are not obvious. They manifest in the most subtle ways, recognizable only to those souls who themselves walked this path. Perhaps you have already passed this test without knowing it. Perhaps the evidence is written in your energy, in the way you move through the world, in the quality of your presence that others sense but cannot name. These 7 signs we might explore are not achievements to be celebrated with fanfare, but quiet recognitions, an inner knowing that one's consciousness has been forever altered by its encounter with its deepest truth. I have come to understand that certain souls undergo what can be called a second psychological birth during their lifetime. This birth does not announce itself loudly. It happens in the spaces between words, in the silence after storms, in the moment when you realize that the person you thought you were fighting to become already lives quietly within you. The essential question then is not whether or not you're worthy of this transformation, but whether you can recognize that it's already begun. Like a tree that grows stronger after surviving a lightning strike, the psyche develops a new form of resilience. This is not the brittle strength that resists all pressure, but the flexible power that bends without breaking, that incorporates challenge into its very structure. One learns to metabolize difficulty in a way that transforms poison into medicine, chaos into clarity. The first sign is a fundamental shift in your relationship with meaning. Where you once sought a single grand purpose to justify your struggles, you now find significance in the fabric of daily existence. This is what I called the religious attitude, not in a dogmatic sense, but as a deep-seated connection to the numinous within the ordinary. You no longer ask, what is the meaning of life? But instead perceive how life is meaning itself, unfolding in every moment, every challenge, and every quiet joy. This shift liberates you from tyranny of a distant future and anchors you in the creative potential of the eternal now. The second sign is the emergence of symbolic sight. You begin to perceive the world not merely as a collection of concrete facts, but as a living tapestry of symbols and metaphors. Dreams, myths, and even chance occurrences cease to be random and become meaningful communications from the unconscious. You understand that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world, and you learn to read your life as one would read a profound personal myth. This symbolic perception allows you to navigate life with a new depth, seeing challenges not as mere obstacles, but as initiatory trials designed for your soul's specific growth. The third sign is a reconciliation with the contextual soul, what I termed the anima or animus. For man, this means making peace with his inner feminine qualities, receptivity, intuition, and relatedness. For a woman, it is the integration of her inner masculine assertion, logic, and focused will. This is not about gender roles, but about achieving inner wholeness. When this integration occurs, your relationships with others transform. You no longer project these disowned parts onto partners, seeking completion outside yourself. Instead, you engage in relationships from a place of fullness, seeking partnership rather than salvation. The fourth sign is the development of a conscious relationship with the archetypes. You cease to be unconsciously possessed by powerful forces like the hero, the mother, the wise old man, or the trickster. Instead, you learn to engage with them consciously. You can call upon the strength of the hero when needed without being driven by a compulsive need to prove yourself. You can express nurturing without being consumed by the mother archetype. This conscious dialogue with the archetypes grants you the tremendous psychological flexibility and protects you from being overwhelmed by unconscious impersonal forces. The fifth sign is a profound sense of responsibility towards the unconscious. You recognize that you are not merely a passive victim of your impulses or moods, but an active participant in the dynamic relationship with your inner world. This is the essence of what I called active imagination. You take responsibility for your dreams, your fantasies, and your dark moods. Not by suppressing them, but by engaging them, listening to what they have to say. You understand that ignorance of the unconscious does not make it disappear. It only gives it more power to act autonomously. This responsibility is the cornerstone of true psychological maturity. The sixth sign is the disillusion of the personalistic view. Early in life, we tend to interpret everything that happens to us as a personal intention, either from others or from a personified fate. After the transformation, you begin to perceive the workings of the transpersonal psyche. You see that many events, both difficult and fortunate, are not necessarily about you in a petty sense, but are a part of a larger impersonal pattern of growth. This brings a tremendous sense of relief and objectivity, freeing you from the exhaustion burden of taking everything personally. The seventh and culminating sign is the embodiment of your unique essence, your diamond. You stop comparing your path to others and cease trying to fit into collective molds of success. There is a quiet acceptance and expression of the singular, irreplaceable person you are meant to be. This is the goal of individuation, to become truly individual, not in an egoistic isolation, but in a faithful service to the self. Your life becomes a unique expression of the universal. You find that your greatest contribution to the world is the simple, unadorned fact of having become fully yourself. This second psychological birth marks not just recovery, but a fundamental reorganization of consciousness. You become psychologically independent of your early programming. There is a sense of completion that has nothing to do with external achievements and everything to do with an internal reconciliation. You no longer need to recover from your past because you have learned to create from your present moment. The person you thought you should become is revealed as a limitation compared to the unique being you already are. Your journey continues, but a crucial phase is completed. You have passed through the soul's most demanding examination, emerging not unscathed, but integrated, not unchanged, but more essentially yourself. The test revealed your true nature. The secret I spent my lifetime learning becomes your lived reality. The soul does not grow despite suffering, but through a conscious and transformative relationship with it. Your pain becomes your teacher. Your wounds become your wisdom. You carry the quiet dignity of someone who has met themselves completely and found not perfection, but wholeness. If you recognize yourself in these signs, know that you have passed through an initiation that most will never understand. Your transformation serves not only your own evolution, but creates a template of possibility for others, and your journey of conscious evolution has only just begun.